Hello, friends. Welcome to this channel, Center of Excellence Pharma 4. In today's episode, I'm going to discuss about beyond digital transformation. That's building up a Pharma 4 roadmap for competitive advantage. That's what is. Just to give you a brief idea about what we offer, we have developed a concept Center of Excellence Pharma 4. The objective is various emerging technologies like cloud, artificial intelligence, machine learning, IoT, blockchain, robotics, chatbot, how these new technologies will help pharma industry in their own challenges about digital supply chain, regulatory documentation, and achieving Pharma 4. Various details are already discussed at our website. We have also designed a course, Smart Manufacturing in Pharma, which has got 20 modules. Please have a look at those modules, and I'm quite sure you will get a good knowledge inputs over there. We started a YouTube channel, Center of Excellence Pharma, for about 5 years back, and this is covering again supporting this our concept of Center of Excellence Pharma for with emerging technologies, starting from designing a business strategy and various challenges into digital supply chain, like could be demand planning, supply planning, operations planning, and moving up to the transportation and logistic, reaching to the customers and patients. Our podcast channel is focused mainly on to what are the recent developments in technology, in business processes, and challenges into achieving operational and business excellence. We also have a book series onto Amazon where now four books are there, and these books are available onto Amazon, both Kindle as well as the paperback and all that. So let's start with today's topic. It's beyond digital transformation, building up a Pharma 4 roadmap. So I'm just trying to show you a small illustration how we really look about it, you about various technologies and how that technologies can be adopted to move to the competitive advantage and all. So my agenda today is introduction, understanding about the Pharma 4 paradigm, Pharma 4 operating model, strategic business values for Pharma 4, key technologies which are enabling Pharma 4, digital maturity framework, building a comprehensive Pharma 4 roadmap, implementation challenges and solutions, case studies, and how we should really look forward for the future of Pharma 4 and then the conclusion. So to start with the Pharma 4 revolution, I'm showing it over here. The revolution starts with represents a comprehensive digital transformation. A base is for the digital transformation, how it's going to move, and strategic business imperatives are been considered. Strategies is the most important thing to start it actually, and that delivers the substantial competitive advantages. Now, what is the market which is really projected? So the projection is the Pharma 4 can reach to about 62.7 billion by 2032. are some of the predictions taken from the internet, but may vary depending upon the conditions, how the markets are moving up and all that. So this particular report, which has been looked into, is that it shows that Pharma 4 roadmap should be having a structured approach for the digital initiatives, and that will drive the tangible business value. As you know, digital, there are a lot of technologies which I mentioned while introducing ourselves. So those initiatives which will have to be considered depending upon the your priorities, your company culture, your focus areas, your geography, your customers. So a lot of those factors which have to be thought about it. And how using those you want to achieve the operational excellence. You want to enhance the efficiencies and you want to increase the productivity and you want to promote that sustainable competitive advantage which you will have amongst your competitors and then the market conditions and all that. And most important thing which you will have to take into consideration, there is a complex marketplace because it's increasing complexities happening. It practically all of us we know when we passed it out to a COVID phase, a lot of things have changed. Complexities in supply chain has increased, business challenges have increased around. So how you are going to ensure the adaptability and resilience to all those complexities is to be thought about it actually. Now, how we will move from the industry 4 to pharma 4? Pharma 4 is a concept actually. Right? It is based on to the principles of industry 4 actually. This again addressing the unique challenges into pharma industry. Industry 4 is a general concept applicable to all industry, but pharma industry has got a very specific needs, requirements, and challenges. So you have to adapt to that actually. So, what is the Industry 4 overview? Industry 4 overview is the fourth industrial revolution, which is characterized by the digitalizations, actually, digital technologies. Again, coming back what I mentioned it in the beginning, what is our focus about is emerging technologies and digitizations that is been considered, and that needs to be adopted into Pharma 4. Addition to that is basically the pharma has got a lot of regulatory requirements and it requires a quality standards to be maintained. Regulatory documentation is to be required. Cyber security is the most important thing because patients and your products has got a very sensitive data. So some of those things which are not there in the industry 4 has to be focused onto the pharma 4, and this is evolving. This is so see earlier phases when industry 1 2 3, you must be aware about it. So it started with the mechanization, electrification, and then the computers, and now it is moving to the digitization and all that. Now ISP plays a very important role in pharma 4. ISP has defined the framework how that pharma 4 is can be achieved and all, and those concepts are to be implemented into the implementation when you are moving from analog systems to digital systems and all this. So you have to build up a technology foundation for your smart factory, smart factory, which will help you to move to the pharma 4 area. Then we have to also think about the resource requirements actually. Resources play a very important role. And resources actually starts with human equipment and software. Normally I mention it, it is the head, heart and hands. Now that is what is the phase which I like it actually. It starts with the human, so it starts with the brain, it starts with the your design, it starts with your strategy, it starts with the goals which you want to achieve it and all that. Then it moves to the equipment, your plant, your facilities which you are going to have it, which you are going to use it. to adopt to the Pharma 4. And finally, this technologies and the software, hardware, maybe your sensors, all those things comes up later on and on. So that quadrant is to be taken into consideration. So you have to centralize the data for this beta better management, and that data is going to drive your decisions. So now we always talk about is data driven decision making systems which are really required into Pharma 4. And then that increases the visibility in production processes, enhances the traceability of elements, and enables the predictive maintenance. So these are some of those factors which go on contributing into your achievements into Pharma 4. Another most important thing, as I mentioned, is Pharma 4 requires a quality is the most important thing, because your products, your drugs, your are going to be consumed by a human being. And that is where you have to ensure that your products are of a best quality, as per the standards and everything. So to ensure that, you have to give a thought onto that actually. So you have to align your pharma quality systems, which maybe you may have ICH Q10 standards, or you may have your own standards, or you will have to follow the standards for your parent companies or something. So ensuring that regulatory compliance is the most important challenge. And then that should get integrated with your digital enablers. You have to enhance the operational throughput throughout the product life cycle. It's basically starting from the issuing about the raw materials to the production, and moving through the complete manufacturing execution systems, and reaching to the warehouse, and finally not just that stage, but it has to get it delivered to the patients and the customer into the best quality. So you have to ensure the entire process. So you will need digital enables to support to all this transformation journey, and that requires a structured approach from the assessment. You need to have that assessment at each and every stage of manufacturing, of logistic distribution, and reaching to the customer. So the entire transformation journey has to be drawn, so which is what is the most important thing. This your system needs to have a good supporting information system quadrant also. Now what is that information system? Information systems you require is a technology infrastructure, for your data acquisition. Now when we are talking about digitalizations and all that, you are capturing the data directly from Internet of things and all that, and that data needs to go to your cloud system. So that data acquisition should really help in a better decision makings and all that. So that data management and analysis is the most important thing. We are really looking when a complete end-to-end seamless data sharing for a better decision making and all that. Now, this information system, the next stage is the organization and processes. So you need to have a structural evolution, which is really going to support to the Pharma 4 requirements, Pharma 4 concepts and all that. So aligning between the technology and business operation is the most important thing. And that needs to get supported by the culture. See, the organization has got a culture. You have a people who are working on to various systems for maybe years together. They have their own mindsets which have been designed and developed for over a period of time. And now we are moving from one system to another system. So now you have to understand and follow and change, to have a successful implementation. So this is a transformation. So which is the most important thing, and that needs to be given a thought actually. This will lead to the operational excellence and then will add the cost optimization. So operational and financial benefits are very important. So that will have a direct impact onto the profitability, your performance improvement, your productivity improvements and all that. And that will bring a significant cost saving into your operation. So that will reduce your manufacturing cost. It will reduce the final cost. It will improve the profitability. So McKinsey's have done some research into that, and they say that this can achieve some 15 to 30% cost savings. Of course, it depends upon the company, organization, culture, technology, and many more factors are there. But that's the potential is there actually. And in today's competitive industry, you have to really give a thought onto that. So mechanism of saving has to be worked it out for that. So here I'm sharing some of the studies which we have seen from the internet and all how Pharma 4 can get benefited. So there are studies from Johnson and other pharma companies and all that actually. So Johnson has shown that the unplanned downtime can be reduced and then there is a 50% reduction if possible. OTF is probably sure most of you must be knowing on time in full quantity. Now that needs to be delivered. And that percentage can really go up and all that. And it will also reduce the product development, testing lead times and all that. So that is also the good benefit. So that 4.5% increase is quite substantial. If you are achieving, say, maybe 80%, you go to 85%, from 85 to 90%. That's a substantial benefit around. And then the product development testing lead time can be reduced. No, because of you are getting a seamless data sharing and uh, artificial intelligence can really help you to prompt you to take correct decisions and all instead of just basically depending upon your mindsets and the historical data and all that actually. And then OE, that operation effective excellence, can also help those levels also will go maybe as you are planning a better predictive maintenance and all that preventive maintenance. If you do it and all that, your equipment availability will go up, you will get a better quality products and all that, and then that will improve the performance and all that. So some of the figures, if you really look at it, you can also go and search more details onto your internet, and see some things I wanted to share with you to give you an idea how Pharma 4 can really help you to benefit it and all that. So that's what is the idea which I gave it to you. Now, quality enhancements and compliance simplification is also another benefit. So, see, we have to really think about the two areas. One is the tangible benefits, and there are intangible benefits. So, when it comes about the intangible benefits, the quality improvements, less rejection or better satisfaction from the customers or the patient is again an add-on thing. And if you have a good technology system which will go and real-time monitoring and all that for your GMP and 21 safer part 11, it gives you a time saving and even those your skills which are working onto the shop floor, they are more comfortable because they are not having that stress about data compilation, creation, entering the data and all that. It is basically done with more better automations and all. And this automation can help validation protocols. It will also help in digital quality assurance and all. And then that with artificial intelligence can help you to the predictive analytics also. So predictive analytics, it can also tell you if the process parameters are likely to cross or is likely to have any disruption, so you can take necessary actions and all that. And it also helps you to simplify the compliances and all that. This data, if you can really do more analysis and all that, it can help you to think about the new innovation. Innovation acceleration is also possible. No? As we discussed, the Pharma 4 will give add-on value to your competitive advantage. But if you use this data, you can think about how to go to the market approach will be faster, how you can take necessary integration steps from R&D, technology transfers, manufacturer and regulatory documentation. These are all integrated systems, and then that can really help you to achieve a better results and all. Digital twin is also a technology which is really helping, which can help you to artificial intelligence driven insights. No? You can create similar situations which are really happening at the manufacturing shop floor level and all that. Those prototypes can visualize what can be really expected and all those. And those virtual data or virtual decisions can train your team also at the same time that can also prompt you to take a necessary corrective action. So that modeling and simulation can also drive you to build that expertise and can also prompt you to take a necessary corrective actions and all that. So that will also help in transferring the your data sharing and then decision making and all that, and regulatory submissions and everything can be better documented and all that. So this impact on through the development timelines is also can be reduced and all that, and you will have a much better competitive edge to the market based on to this. And this we are really thinking about it into a smart manufacturing. We already have a course onto smart manufacturing on Udemy platform, which has got about 20 different modules are integrated with the emerging technologies and then the pharma process challenges and all that. So what we are really thinking about it in the smart manufacturing is that real-time data or process monitoring. No, when you're looking at it onto say tablet manufacturing, ointments, injectable or something like that, how that machine's data, it could be temperature, pressures, quantity or something, how those data captured by IoT sensors can keep track about those critical process parameters continuously, and will go into the cloud platform and will be analyzed, and that data will be shared to the required stakeholders and all that. Digital twins, as I was mentioning under the last slide, can simulate those production environments for the validation, testing, and optimizations and all. Automated equipment synchronization is another next step. You are also supposed to maintain all electronic batch record, no, which we call it as the ABRs and all that, which takes the seamless equipment conditions and all that data, which will be automatically captured. So that will help you to move to the paperless workflows, no? So that reduces the cycle time and minimizes the human error. And this will move to the configurable factories, no? Into the mass customizations with the personalized medications, which can meet to the specific patient's demands and all that. Now this move to a next step about the data integrations and advanced analytics actually. So its importance over here is data integration is very important because data is captured at each process stage, each manufacturing stage, and the data is also relevant from not only manufacturing point of view, but from the quality point of view, from the customers or patient specific requirement point of view. So all this data which requires to be getting captured and will get synchronized. No? That data will get converted into the actionable insights. So that as we always discuss about the data driven decision making, and then that will prompt the actions to be taken, which will help in Again, cost reduction, artificial intelligence, machine learning. So all those things get integrated and all. And this is supported by a cloud technology, cloud computing. So cloud computing, artificial intelligence, and IoT, these are the things which they get integrated together, and that will drive the efficiencies and quality improvements and the compliances and all that. Now, when we are doing all this, we have to also see that at what stage we are onto the digital maturity framework. No, there are, we can draw maybe 5 steps or 6 steps depending upon the thing. Like here, I tried to show you into some 6 steps actually. The first stage is actually computerizations, which is actually automating the basic manual processes and digital technologies and all that. That will move to the next step is connectivity. So building connections between the systems and the data sources. The third step is actually going to give you the visibility. So you see in the real time, how the operational performance are moving up and all that. And that will give you the transparency into the operation about a product, about a batch, about a process parameters, where what stage it is there, what are the quality reports are there, and all that. And then that transparency also helps you to analyze and predict. So predictability is the fifth stage, is anticipating what will be the outcome and how those proactive measures can be taken up and all that. And that will move to the enabling the autonomous responses and the self optimizations and all. So how you will assess the digital maturity? So that again, I just shown you some steps, some stages. So assessment of digital maturity, you can look at it. You evaluate the system, you evaluate the data flow, you evaluate the infrastructure, hardware, software, and all that, and do that organizational readiness. No, where you stand. No, basically depending upon uh, you might have designed some strategy, you must have drafted some hardware software requirement. You must be already having some earlier operational processes and all. So where you stand with that, no, you have to do that mapping about your existing processes along with the new data flows which you have identified and all. Do that comparison and all. And as I mentioned in the beginning, ISP has built up a Pharma for maturity model. So you can do the comparison with those standards, and then you decide whether you stand at a step one, step two, step three, step four, where you're standing at and all. And then you do the assessing the workforce skills also, because finally the workforce is going to drive your processes, along with the machines and all that. So their contribution, again, as I discussed earlier, is the head, heart, and hands. So finally, the hands contribution becomes a more important. So you have to consider that and then incorporate how you will see and move further onto you to prioritize onto that actually. So then once you have taken up those steps, now you decide where you stand. Then you have to consider the pilot project. You have to identify the pilot project. You are standing at a maybe maturity level one or two or something, and you want to move to the next step and all that. So you identify a pilot project which will give you the high impact areas, that which is a critical process or priority areas for you, either from process point of view, technology point of view, commercial point of view, or something like that. And you have to see that proof of how you are going to get that transformation from analog system to the digital systems and all. And that once you start working onto that pilot project will give the confidence to the your team members and the skills and all that. And then that will help you to build up some electronic batch records, and will some show you some deviations and everything, maybe identify and help you to requirements of predictive maintenance and all for critical machines and quality data and all that. Once you start visualizing all the data, then you have to move to the next step, how effectively pilot criteria you can take into consideration and identify, or configurations and all will be taken. And then you start comparing with the ISPN norms and all that. So it's a continuous process, and you have to go on doing it regularly. That will help to move to the governance framework, the scaling and all that. So you have already identified that importance of Pharma 4 and critical scaling and all. You have done it. So now you have identified that what technology factors, technology parameters you have to need to monitor it and all that, and how you will have a better governance with the framework and all that. That's a framework. Is some requirements may have been documented onto as per your SOPs or maybe regulatory requirements and all, and how that with your digital teams will work together in the synchronizations and all, and how that will help in building up a standardizations of the technologies and all that. That will give you the reporting process and tracking the progress and all that. And then you have to take into consideration the change control, the validation processes and all that. And that will help you to achieve the benefits of the effective governance. And this is again a continuous process and all that. So to put it into the phased manner, so I've just drafted how those implementation strategies can be put it into the phases. So I have listed out some of the four phases. It's the innovation phase, foundation phase, integration phase, and optimization phase, and all that. So the initial phase is innovation, like leveraging artificial intelligence capabilities, machine learning, predictive analytics and all that. So that will help you to drive the what competitive differentiation which you will be able to achieve into that particular small process, because you are taking up a small pilot project and all that. And then once you establish that the foundations and all, you start compiling the data and all that, see the how that governance framework has been designed and all that. Then you start looking and connecting to the earlier phase or the next phase, and then in those you will connect from the other processes, and then that will start data sharing, connecting, and will start moving up to the next level and all that. And then that will help you to move to the complete end-to-end digital supply chain management process and all that. And then you can have a team which will go on continuously analyzing this data. So advanced analytics will help you and prompt you to, from innovation point of view, to the next steps and all that. This also again mention it to you about regulatory compliances. That is complexities which are now increasing it at. So regulatory oversight as far as the pharma for requirements are there. Those things also can be data captured from the digital transformation and digital initiative and really helping compliances and all. Then you have to accept the digital technologies because it's a cloud hosted platform and all that. So you have to understand those concepts. Now, sharing is not to just a physical manner, but it is also on the digital scales and all that. And then the new requirements of GMP 5 validations, which are really coming up, how those will get supported, how your Pharma for integration with ICHQ can happen, it and all that. So all those factors you'll have to start thinking and all that. So again, I'm coming to the first topic which we started. It is a you have to start managing the legacy system, your analog system with a data integration. Say earlier we used to have analog systems where silos based. That data is only available and used at that particular stage only with those skills and all that. But over here now, this data is available across the entire organization, all stakeholders with the limitations to what they have required actually. That all the data need not be shared with everyone and all that. But depending upon the required data is available, and that can help you to draw the better decisions and all that. So as we are moving to more strategies, more challenges, uh, industries are becoming more competitive, more regulatory requirements are increasing. COVID like problems are happening it, so you only have to really prepare for all that data sharing and data driven decision making. So all those things will be really taken into consideration, keeping into the mind about the data integration. So that's what has been shown over here. It's the middleware and how it will contribute in collecting data, how that framework has to be there to integrate diverse assets and all that. And then I earlier also discussed it that change management is really required. I'm again like to share that phrase. No, it's a head, heart, and hand. So those have to really work together. So challenges are there. There's always a resistance to change. The skill gaps are there. Those have to be really built up and all that. So effective change management strategies are there. Developing digital skills through the training and equipment is going to happen. So we have to really do that handholding, about the technologies and teams and then the skills and all everything, along with your business processes. So it's a cultural change which we have to think about innovation and continuous improvements and all. And then that will help you to drive and get a better results and all. This also needs a measurable improvements, which I always talk about. It's a continuous improvement. It's continuous monitoring, which is really required. So the same results which I have shown you on to earlier slides about some case study has been shown over here. So we have to really monitor all those benefits and identify why the reasons, why it has gone up or gone down or something, and try to match or create a similar situations, so that continuous improvements are going to happen. And so you will have a performance metrics, reduce batch release time or decrease the reviews for approval cycles into manufacturing documentation. So lower the investigations times into quality deviations or something. So finally you have to see that how you will achieve the operational and financial benefit. Cost reduction, as I already shown you some of the figures, this will depend upon your company, your people, your skills, your machineries, your standardization, your SOPs adoption. So there are various such factors are there. And you have to understand that those pharma for concepts and requirements and all that. But I'm quite sure you will get a much better results and fantastic ROI. So emerging technologies will really help you in a lot of integration. So advanced artificial intelligence and machine learning, a lot of those capabilities are coming up. You will have a digital twin, which I mentioned it to you, which simulates your shop floor processes at to the lab and will help you to identify uh, those challenges into those things and prepare for that. Edge computing is coming up. Then, if you look at further automation, advanced robotics and all things are coming up. Blockchain and all, there are a lot of other new technologies are coming up. So there is a regulatory evolution which is really going to happen. Your industries are going to get a standardizations and all. And according to that, your regulatory requirements will be standard. And if you start using your artificial intelligence, your validations and all processes also will be really simple. So, in fact, if you look at it, our YouTube channel, we already have a video to do the validation of automated systems actually. Now we are looking at it for IoTs and various emerging technologies. So how you're going to do the validations of those technologies is also it's going to be a challenge. But with minimum human interventions and all that, it's going to be much more easy. That once you automate those processes and do that validations for them, it becomes easy for standardizations and all. That's what is the thought which I wanted to share with you. So coming to that conclusion, I think is that Pharma 4 is going to give you the competitive advantage, but you have to really think about all those things. You should have a strategy. It should really help you in improving operational efficiency. It should enhance the quality and compliances. So use the data for innovations and improvements further. It's a continuous process, and that requires a structured approach. You have to monitor the digital maturities and all the challenges. So I have already discussed a lot of those benefits and all. As I mentioned it to you, more details you will find at our other social networks also, where we are trying to share our knowledge to all users from the pharma industry, and I'm quite sure it will be helpful for you into your operations and all to achieve the better results. Okay. Feel free to contact us. Feel free to share your thoughts, your suggestions and all. Thank you. Bye.